want to start with my name. My name is Idera Oluwa Musizoke. Some people, yes, you can sit down. Some people may call me Ivy Cup. Some may call me Valerie. Some may call me the Vagina Avenger. There's a long story behind that last name. But today I'm just showing up as Idera, the random person on the street who knows one thing or two about freelance writing. Now, I wish I could say, oh, writing is so special to me. Creative writing changed my life. I wanted to tell my story. I started writing for money. I wanted to make money and I had a skill, so I decided to sell it. So there's nothing like, I really wish I could be like her and be like, oh, you must write from your soul. You must do this and that. I really wish I could, but that's not my story. My story was simply I needed money, I had a skill, I sold that skill, and I made money. That's what it is here. That's what I'll be talking about today. So first of all, I want to do a little bit of an icebreaker. I'm going to ask a question, and I want two people to offer to answer the question. So if you were not doing medicine, what do you think you'd be doing? Who wants to offer to answer that question? If you're a medical student. Are you interested? Yes. Oh, yeah, no. Psychology. Cool. Who else wants to answer that? So me? Yeah. In English. Wow. You are a far, far, far away from English, by the way. So, quick introduction again. My name is Idera, and the reason why I can stand here today to talk to you is because 4 years ago, I started selling my skill as a writer. So I would say I am a freelance content writer, copy strategist, copywriter. All those big, big English just means I sell writing. So who am I really? I like to divide my life into four parts. There's Idera, the medical student. There's Idera, the writer. There's Idera, the menstrual health advocate. And then there's Idera, the girl. Now, describing myself, I would say I'm a very lazy person. I do not like work. I don't like doing anything at all whatsoever. However, here I am today. They're asking me to come and speak. What do I know that they're asking me to come and speak? That is what it is to me. But here I am because I have results to show for what I've been doing this entire time. Now, before I start talking about it, I want to talk about how I got into freelance writing. So, 4 years ago, I came across a job ad, and they said, "Oh, we are looking for blog writers to write for us." I've never written a word in my life, by the way. Of course, all those random poems that you write when you're sad, maybe your boyfriend annoys you or something like that. So you write, "Oh, he shattered my heart," and kiniko kiniko. That was the extent of my writing at that time. But I took the leap and I sent them a DM. I said, "Oh, hi, I don't have any experience writing, but I would love to give it a try." So they said, "Oh, sure, take a test. If the test is good, we'll hire you." That was how I started writing for 1.2 naira per word. And every single month, I was churning out between 60,000 to 100,000 words every single month. That was about 7,000 words a day. This is at 1.2 naira per word, by the way. That's how I started. And that proceeded for, I think I worked with them for a year or so. And at some point, I knew that I couldn't continue this way because it got so bad that if my phone notification goes off when I'm sleeping, I'll start having palpitations. Oh my God, they're going to fire me. Oh my God. And I knew that something had to change. Now, my point here is you can have a small beginning as a freelance writer, but you shouldn't stay there for too long. So today we are talking about how you can have that small beginning and how you can scale up and become, a big shot freelance writer. Amarachi said something about me. She was like, "Oh, she bought a car, blah, 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 blah." That's not the big deal, but there's a story I want to pick from there. So after I got my car, you have to get your student sticker from the dean's office. So I submitted my letter I was like, "Oh, I'm a student requesting for a car sticker." The man said he wasn't going to stamp that letter. He said he has to see the person that wants to stamp this car. So I went there. Prof. Showandi. I went there. He said, "Who are you?" "My name is Idera. I'm a part 4 medical student." "What do you do?" "I'm a writer." So I looked at me. He said, "I've been writing for 30 years. I didn't buy a car at your age." 30 years. So the difference here is when we talk about oh, have a skill. This entire workshop thing has been about being a good writer, right? They've been teaching you how to write, how to put your words together, but selling that skill is an entirely different thing entirely. There are many platforms to choose from. I know if you are in medicine alone, the amount of times you'd have heard Upwork is enough. Like if you have 1 naira for every time you've heard Upwork, is enough to buy a house. So what does it even mean? Do you even know where to go to find this mysterious Upwork that you're talking about? Is it just Upwork that is the gateway to, making it big as a freelance writer, as they say, or whatever? So, first of all, I want to say what is freelance writing, or what is freelancing in general. Freelancing is essentially you have a skill, someone needs it out there, you sell it to them, they pay you for that, right? Simple as that. It could be singing, you can freelance singing. It could be web development. It could be writing, like we're talking about here. Anything that you have a skill, you sell it, and someone pays for it to you. Now, I've talked about my background as a freelance writer. It just started when I saw that ad, applied, started writing tons and tons of words every single month, churning it out until I decided that I wanted to scale up and do something different. So why should you consider freelance writing? Money. I'm not going to do aspire to perspire again. I've already said that. If you want to make money as a commercial freelance writer, that is enough reason. You don't have to say, oh, writing has always been so passionate to me, and writing changed my. It's good, but as a commercial freelance writer, you're going to have to separate your love for writing and talk about the cold, hard business of it. I would be very honest and say that being a freelance content writer or freelance commercial writer made me hate writing. Like I said, after like a year or two of being a commercial writer, a freelance writer, the sound of my phone notification, till today, my phone never rings out. Because of, I would say, the PTSD of that time. It was so bad that if my phone went bzz, bzz, my heart I'm already having palpitations. So you have to separate, that idea of, writing is what I really love. You end up writing things that, maybe they are not really interesting to you. I've written about machines before. What do I know about machines? But as a freelance writer, you have to spread yourself thin. Of course, you have your niche, but you have to spread yourself thin, explore different things before you come to that one thing that will, stick. So first of all, let's talk about the freelancing roadmap. You need to have a skill to sell. It's not enough to say, oh, I wrote a poem one time. I posted a poem on my WhatsApp story and like 5 people said, wow, you write so well. Oh my goodness. It's not enough. You have to build a skill. You're laughing. They've told you, Abby. They've said you're a very good writer. I should go and write now. Abby? So you have to have a skill. You have to build that skill. Writing is not something you wake up one day knowing how to do. I think she mentioned that. Writing is not something you wake up one day knowing how to do. Somi also said that you have to read, right? It's very, very important. I'm a voracious reader. I read a lot, or I used to read. Now I don't have time. I'm only reading O&G and pediatrics and God knows what. So, but you have to read. You have to consume content to be able to create your own content. From books to even what you're reading on social media matters. As long as you're consuming the kind of content that you want to create, that is a good enough start. You also shouldn't have to wait until you are hired by somebody to know how to write. That's where I'm going to next, picking a niche. So a niche is basically a corner of an entire field that you pick and say, oh, this is what I want to do. And then you start writing in that niche. However, it's not easy to pick a niche. Off the top of my head, there's, content, there's copy, there's book writing, there's, lots and lots of writing. And then there's the different industries and different topics that you need to talk about. So we have fashion, lifestyle, beauty, tech, all those kinds of things. So how do you center in on that one thing that you want to do? For me, it was blog writing and it was YouTube scripts. I started with blog writing, then YouTube scripts shortly after that. So I didn't niche down into a specific topic. I've written romance novels, right? I've written the really spicy romance novels, the one where they're like, oh, and he lifted my shirt, and he cock. What do I know about that? But I still made money off it anyway. So if you think that you want to niche down, do your research. I don't know if it was Somi or Ebenezer that said, Everything you need is on the internet, and I'm a firm believer of that. I wanted to run a campaign this year, and I simply Googled how to run a menstrual health campaign, and that was it. And that was all the help I needed. Everything you need is out there on the internet today. I firmly believe that you do not have to buy a single course. You don't have to pay a single guru, a single coach to figure things out. Go out there and find out the different niches that exist. That's copywriting, content, blog, technical writing. And then say, oh, does this appeal to me? Is this something I think I can do? If it is, write it down. Now, one big mistake people try to make is when they first start, they restrict themselves to just one niche. Pick 2 to 3. Blog writing, copywriting, YouTube scripts. Start from there. Talk to people who have done it before. They don't have to be super amazing at it. They just have to be doing it at the moment. Talk to them. Find out what it's about. Ask for samples. Very, very important. You know the niche you want to explore. You know people who are doing it. You ask them what is it about. You do the research about what it's about. Now it's time for you to start writing. Like I said, the 5 people that commented that, oh my God, I love your writing on your WhatsApp story is not enough. You have to build the skill of writing. And how can you build the skill of writing? By writing. So you've picked your niches now, for example. Now you're going to go find out 5 things that people have done in that specific niche. For example, I personally love writing about health articles. So I could say, if I was just starting, I would say, oh, health articles, maybe women's health. And I'm saying things like 5 ways to, keep yourself healthy on your period, or 5 ways to care for yourself on your period. Now you see those titles, I will study those articles extensively. Then I would go and write on my own. I would write and write and write. If you have somebody to review for you, great. If you don't, ChatGPT is there. Like, I don't know why people are so scared to admit that AI is a thing. Earlier, she was asking me that, what do I think the future of AI is with this industry? And don't be scared. If you don't have anybody to review your work, ask ChatGPT to do it. Hey, GPT, can you act as a seasoned freelance content writer and review this article for me? It's not ideal, but you have to make do with what you have, right? Don't you? So now you have your samples. Maybe you had someone to review them for you. You continue doing that over and over and over again until you get to a point where your articles are coherent, your YouTube scripts are coherent, the copy you're writing is coherent. Now, when you've gotten to that point, it's time to learn how to sell that skill. It's time to step out of your comfort zone of, oh, I'm writing a poem on my WhatsApp status. I'm writing an article for myself. It's time for you to go out there and sell. Before you can go out there and sell anything, you have to have proof of things that you've done. Now, anytime I do talks like this, people are always like, oh, but nobody has ever hired me before. How are they going to believe that I can, do the work for them? Nobody needs to know that. Nobody needs to know that. Make a portfolio for yourself and say, hi, I did this the other time and this is proof of my work. Here's what I have done. Make a portfolio for yourself. Those niches that I talked about, make 3 to 5 samples under each of those niches. Make sure they are great. Have someone review them for you. Even if it is this person beside you, as long as it is coherent, somebody out there will be willing to give you a try. But it is not enough to say, hi, I don't have any samples. I don't have any experience. I don't know anything, but please, please, please give me a try. They don't even know anything about you. You have to have something to prove that, oh, I'm putting in the work here. Nobody has hired me, sure, but I'm putting in the work. I have something here. Can you take a look? If it works for you, great. You can give me a try. But you cannot wait until somebody hires you before somebody hires you. Does that make sense? You don't have to. You cannot wait, because people will not give you a chance just because you are saying please. You have to have something to show for it. So on the topic of I don't have samples, I don't have experience, make experience for yourself. Hire yourself. Tell yourself, hi. Sorry, what's your name? Loveline. Hi, Loveline. This is Loveline to Loveline, by the way. Hi, Loveline. I need an article on top 3 skincare products in 2024. Then you write the article for yourself and you've hired yourself like that. Put it in your portfolio. Next time someone asks you for a sample, I have this sample to show to you, right? So you don't have to wait for that. That's the mistake that people are always making. They want somebody to hire them first before they can feel like, oh, I have something to show for it. You be the something that you have to show for it. You be your first client, for example. Now, next thing I want to talk about is you have your portfolio. Where do you sell it? Who do you show it to? Upwork, 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 Fiverr, Fiverr, Fiverr. Before you start Upworking and Fiverring, there is somebody beside you who knows somebody who is hiring a writer. That's just the truth. That job ad that I saw was not on Upwork. It wasn't on Fiverr. It wasn't on, it was just somebody who needed a writer to stand in. People like me and people like Ebenezer, he has gone now. Back then when we first started, after we started scaling up, we started hiring writers because the workload gets too much and you have to outsource to people. There are people around you who are doing that. You can ask around. That poem that you're posting on your status is very good. I'm not saying you should stop. But you should follow it up with, oh, I do this for a living. If you're looking for someone to, write for you, I'm available. Okay, so I'm always very envious of Jomiloju because if you have his WhatsApp number, he's steady churning out serious content back to back. Those poems are so insane. There was one time he posted a piece about losing someone. And I was there typing, oh my God, Jomiloju, I'm so sorry about your loss. And then I tapped to the next day and he was like, oh, just a piece. I didn't really mean that. He's putting himself out there so much that if any opportunity were to come to me today, oh, we are looking for a poet, who would I call first? Jomiloju. Same thing with Joy. Joy does incredible art. And the only way I know that is because she talks about it and posts about it. You have to put yourself out there. There's a thriving writing community within this OAU that people are looking to hire people. People are looking to connect with people. Start from there. You don't have to go all the way high up. Just start small, like you said. Start small, little by little. Tell someone beside you, oh, I'm writing, I need a job. That's how I got my second job after that first job that I saw the ad for. So talk about your work. You don't have to be perfect at it. Like I said, you have your niche that you've chosen. You have your portfolio. Tell people about it. Oh, I write. The time you are using to post Sabino's videos on your status, use it to tell somebody that you write. Post about it. Oh, you guys, I'm a blog writer. Oh, if anybody wants to hire, please tell me. Please let me know. Now, we talked about the basics. Now, let's talk about the upworking. Because I know that's why somebody is here right now to talk about selling your skills online. Now, in case you don't know what Upwork is, or in case you don't know what platforms like Upwork, Fiverr are, it's basically a marketplace where people with freelance skills go to sell to people who need those freelance skills. So, on Upwork, I have seen someone selling a phone call. I will call so and so person on your behalf and tell them happy birthday. Yeah, and they pay for it. I have seen job posts like, oh, I need someone to write me my sister's wedding toast. I'm her sister and I want to do a toast at the wedding. They could easily ask GPT, but they prefer it to be done by a human being. Yeah? So anything that you can think of, there's probably a job out there for you, especially as a writer. Writing is so incredibly important to the fabric of everything. I was telling someone the other time that, oh, I'm so scared. That was about a year ago because clients were more like, can you use AI to make the outline so I can pay you less? They are starting to think more about AI. So I was thinking, maybe writing isn't the end game for me. I might have to pivot into something else. And he said, if there's one thing that has been consistent is that people always need writers, right? So whatever it is that you want to sell, some people sell academic writing. Miracle, the current president aspirant in my class, he does academic writing and health writing, and he's doing great. Whatever type of writing it is, there's a niche for you somewhere on that platform. So as I was saying, these platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, they're basically marketplaces that you go. They post jobs there. and you apply for those jobs and tell them, oh, hey, I do this, can you hire me? How many of us have not seen Upwork before? You've never seen the websites before? Never, 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 never. Who else? Yeah. But you've heard about it before. Hmm? It's not this mystical, magical land where jobs are falling out from the sky. You will have to sell yourself incredibly well. And that art of selling is what we want to talk about today. After this, I would like for you to explore the platforms I'm about to talk about. There are some platforms I might mention that you are not familiar with. Upwork and Fiverr are the most common. I always talk about another platform called Pro Blogger. Indeed is great. LinkedIn is great. You must leverage your LinkedIn if you want to sell your skill. Back to Upwork. So you have very limited space to sell your skill. So you have an Upwork profile, you have a portfolio, and you have your chance to bid for jobs with a proposal. Now, your Upwork profile is basically free real estate to tell people what you do and why they should hire you. If you were a business owner looking for someone to write blogs for your website, and you saw two profiles that said expert blog writer for e-commerce businesses, and you saw blog writer, who would you hire? Expert blog writer for businesses, right? That is selling yourself. So often I will help people revamp their Upwork profiles, and a couple of months ago, I was revamping this young lady's profile, and she said, oh, I'm such a brilliant writer. She wrote it in her profile, I'm such a brilliant writer. I'm so good at English that I got a double promotion in primary 3. This is a profile. So if you are saying all the irrelevant things, like nobody cares that you got a double promotion, okay? And how are you going to help me with the blog that I want to write about teddy bears? You have to understand who you are talking to, right? You have to understand who you are talking to and then sell yourself as a solution. The very first thing when you open your Upwork profile is your profile title. Like I said, expert blog writer for business owners versus blog writer. You have to craft your profile title in such a way that it instantly tells them what you do and how you can help them. So for example, let's give another example. YouTube, expert YouTube scriptwriter or top rated YouTube scriptwriter. I write 10 times viral YouTube scripts for top performing channels versus YouTube scriptwriter. Who will you hire? Yeah, the first one. That's who you would hire, right? So the way you craft your profile title is very, very important. So we are going to be taking it step by step. Now you've done your profile title. Next thing you want to talk about is the profile itself. Don't tell them you got double promotion. Don't tell them you got A1 in English, WAEC and NECO. Nobody cares. How will you solve their problem? That's why I always say that. I said it this morning that you have to separate your, whimsical love for writing and think of it as strictly a business. You are selling to someone on the other side of the screen who has a business that they want to sell. Whether it's a blog, whether it's email, whether it's, copy, websites, whatever. They have a business they want to sell. So talk to that instead. Think to yourself, someone who is hiring a blog writer, what is it that they are hoping to achieve by writing blogs? Is it just for the vibes? No. They want traffic. They want conversions. They want people to come to their blog and see them as an authority. So that is where you start from. Hi, my name is Idera. I am a blog writer with 5 years of experience. When I was in primary 6, my teacher said I was so amazing at writing. Versus, hi, my name is Idera. I'm an experienced blog writer with 5 years of experience. I specialize in creating blog posts that increase traffic, boost your conversions, and give you a loyal audience. Which one do you think you'd be more interested in? So you must know who you are speaking to, understand their pain points, and then speak to it. You shouldn't be saying things like, I. It should be more about them, right? You are providing a solution for them. I did this, I do this, I did this, I do. How does that translate to a solution for me? I have a blog. I want you to write blog posts for me. I. It's all about you. But when you set yourself up as the person that provides a solution for them, they are more inclined to listen to you. So the basic structure I like to use for an Upwork profile, you have your profile title. Next, in the profile bio itself, you want to include a hook. And what that means is you want to speak directly to their most important pain point. For someone who has a website, okay, so I have a website for my brand called Ivy Cup, and we sell menstrual cups. And if I were looking for someone who would write blogs for me, the first thing I want to see is, are you struggling with converting customers or converting eyes to customers? Are you struggling with making sales? Those are my problems, right? I have a business to sell. So speak to that first. The very first line of your profile cover has to be a hook. What other problems could a customer have, a client have? Maybe people are not watching their YouTube videos. Maybe they are not able to write the book that they want to write, because ebook writing is very big. Ghostwriting is very big. People will tell you, this is what I've done with my life. Can you write a book for me? And you're like, I didn't live your life. What do you mean by that? But people will practically outsource anything if they could. People would outsource family making if they could. That's how serious it is. So where can you come in and provide that solution is what you should be doing. Whatever their main problem is, start by answering that. Then you can go on and say, hi, my name is Lovelyn, right? That's your name. My name is Lovelyn and I'm a writer. Even if you don't have the 1 million years of experience that others are saying, you can say, I'm a seasoned writer. I'm a conversion-driven writer. You don't have to have the experience to start getting the experience. It's just unfortunate that people will prefer to hire someone who has experience. But it's understandable. You can fill the gap with something else. You may not have the half a decade of experience that I have, but you're really good at writing. Or you're really good at creating new narratives or new solutions to problems that people have. Make that your selling point. It doesn't have to be your years of experience. Make that your selling point. Introduce yourself. Next thing you want to do is show them that you understand the problem. Often in a job post, they will say, oh, I'm looking to hire a YouTube script writer who has experience writing in the sports niche. And I'm looking for someone who has experience, creating viral YouTube scripts. And if that's you, please text me. So we are saying it now. You don't have experience writing viral YouTube scripts, right? Maybe this is your first time doing it. But what different thing is it that you can? What's that different thing that you can say that would help you stand out? For example, there was a job I got, one of my longest paying jobs, and the person was asking for someone who likes celebrities. And if you know me, Kim Kardashian, I know where she was born. That's how I'm chronically online. It's very bad for me, but I'm chronically online. So I told him, hey, I don't have experience writing in that niche, but I'll tell you what, I know where Kim Kardashian was born. I know where her kids were born. I know what Meghan Markle is doing right now. So that's unique angle that you can bring to the table. Whatever it is, think about it. The problem is people want to send proposals. You're sending 20 proposals. You're feeling cool, but nobody's reaching out to you because you are doing it all wrong. I take about 2 hours to send one proposal. 2 hours for one proposal. And it sounds insane, but they convert. If today I were to send 2 proposals, one of them would reach out, at least one of them. Because you are doing it right, because you are answering a question. So you told them, oh, this is who I am. I know your pain points. This is who I am. This is what I would do for you. You sell them that reality. This is what I would do for you. Oh, you are struggling with your YouTube channel not going up. Here's what I do. I will study your competition. I will craft the best YouTube hooks for you. I will write a full-bodied, very engaging video from top to bottom. And I will write a call to action or a conclusion that will compel them to subscribe immediately. Those are all the 4 problems that YouTube channels have. Some may have peculiar problems, but that is it. And if you can speak to them, I'm talking about someone who is, talking about specializing in a particular niche. It doesn't have to be YouTube scripts. I'm giving an example. Whatever it is, whatever niche it is that, we talked about picking a niche the other time. This niche that you're going into, what are the problems of the clients in that niche? Note them down and speak to those problems every single time. Now you are done with that part of the profile cover. Next, we want to talk about providing results. Now, as a newbie, you may not have results. So what can you do instead? You can say things like, I may not have the experience, right? However, I'm willing to go the extra mile for you. When you are making whoever is on the other side of the screen feel like this person will dedicate their time to making sure that my project is perfect, they will be more than inclined to hire you. And finally, at the end, you want a call to action. Who knows what a call to action is? Who knows what a call to action is? Do you want to tell us? You raised your hand now. Yeah. Okay. Precisely. Thank you very much. So, at the very end, you want to tell them what to do. Tell them to reach out to you. Tell them, if you are ready to take your project to the next level, send me a DM. That simple line will close anybody who has been interested in all the things you are saying. You didn't tell them that when you were young, you wrote a book about superpowers and all that. You've given them valid reason to want to hire you. Now, at the end, you have to seal the deal. Tell them, oh, hire me, send me a DM, let's chat more about it, let's jump on a call. That's just a basic structure of what a profile cover would look like. So we talked about a profile title, why you should be able to set yourself apart. It's not enough to say copywriter and content writer. What makes you unique? What makes you special? What makes it so important that they hire you? What will you give them in return for hiring you that will make their project a success? Skip the aspire to perspire. You don't have to lick anybody's feet or lick anybody's foot to get a job. Just prove that you are valuable. Prove that you are the guide. Prove that you are the expert. Now, earlier I mentioned that on platforms like Upwork, you have your profile, you have your proposals. Now, this is where the problem is. If you're familiar with Upwork, you know Upwork asks you to pay before you can apply to jobs. Is that correct? You have to pay for Connect. Is that correct? Now, back in the day, one job used to be 2 connects. And now, one job is 24, 22. So how can you navigate that? Unfortunately, Upwork is now a pay-to-play platform, meaning before you can access the jobs that are there, you will need to put some money into it before you can apply for jobs. So if you don't have a capital to invest in your freelancing on that platform, there are other free platforms I will talk about moving forward. But essentially, it's the same structure for having a proposal that converts. Over the years, you would be able to tell what works. And for me, I know that despite spending 2 hours on one proposal or 1 hour on one proposal, if I send out 5, I'm getting 4 or 3 responses and I'm getting 1 or 2 jobs from that. And why? Because each proposal is so carefully crafted from the very beginning. The problem is people who apply on platforms like Upwork, they now rely on AI. I was hiring a couple of months ago, and this person sent me an email, and the chat GPT prompt was on top. Sure, here is your proposal. You need to put in the work, because there are so many of you out there looking for the same job as you. You need to stand out. Even if you are not using GPT, even if you are not copying from anyone, you need to stand out. So, first of all, you have a hook. Like I said before, you introduce yourself. Now, what solutions are you going to provide for them? Why should they hire you? What results will you bring for them? It is very, very important to state that. Next, provide proof. If you don't have proof, what did I say earlier? Tell them why, despite not having proof or despite not having testimonials or whatever, you will go the extra mile for them. That is very, very important. Finally, a call to action. Tell them what to do. Now, what will set you apart is when you read a job posting, you will realize that this person has a very specific problem. There was a job I got a couple of months ago, and the guy said, if you know that you are a plagiarizer, do not apply to this job. Plagiarism simply means copying. So that means one writer or the other has shown him shege with plagiarism. That was where I started from. I told him, plagiarism gives me hives. Copying makes me break out in pimples. Right? I told him that I am so allergic to copying that I think we are going to be best friends. I got the job. Yeah. That was all that was in there. I told him copying. Of course, I provided samples, but I told him copying. I'm so allergic to copying that I think we are going to be very good friends. And I got the job. I didn't talk about how, oh, I have written for Indeed.com. Oh, I have da 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 da. He had one problem and he needed a solution ASAP. Pay attention to what you're applying to. Is it clear? Is it clear? Very good. So a call to action, finally. Now, other platforms, unfortunately, I won't have time to dive into other platforms. But as a writer, there are many other platforms beyond Upwork and Fiverr. In fact, if I had known, I probably would never have gone into Upwork. So, ProBlogger is a great platform for beginner writers. ProBlogger.com. Then, for people who are interested in YouTube script writing, ytjobs.co. Great platform for YouTube job writing. LinkedIn is great. I've gotten a client from LinkedIn. It didn't work out, but if you put yourself out there, like I said, just the way you're posting your poems and whatever on your WhatsApp status, go there and build a profile, build a presence for yourself, tell people what you do, because nobody else will sell your markets for you. Nobody else will carry your business on your head the way you do. Indeed is a great platform for jobs. Who is familiar with Indeed? Yeah. It's a great platform for jobs. There is a whole world out there, even outside of these platforms. It's as simple as going to Twitter and searching for the keyword, I am looking for a writer. Searching for the keyword, hiring a writer. Searching for the keywords, looking to hire a writer. And you will find people who are looking for jobs. Not everybody who needs a writer will go to Upwork. Isn't that correct? Not everybody who needs a writer will go to, Fiverr or whatever. But they may just be tweeting it on their own. Just talking about it. Oh, I'm even looking to hire a writer. And if you send them a DM, oh, hi, I saw your post for a writer. One of my longest term writers till today that I hired, she was from Twitter. I was lamenting about how, oh my God, if anybody knows me from like 2020, I was always constantly complaining about how writers wanted to end my life. They wanted to, because the incompetence, the lack of consistency, I was always complaining. So she DM'd me and she said, hi, I noticed you're always complaining about writers. Do you have any openings? I'll be happy to test. And so she did. And so we are still working together till this day. So widen your horizons outside of those platforms that you know about. In fact, finding a job on Google is very easy. All you have to do is go to, maybe writing about pets, for example, pets blogs plus Write for Us. There are companies who will never go to platforms like Upwork who are actively looking for writers. There is so much information around you, so many opportunities, and it is very important that you're able to open your eyes. You know that common saying now, info laying off info. You need the information, and it is out there. People just need to tell you where it is. Now, they said I should tell you how I balance freelancing with medical school. I don't balance anything. My head is about to blow as I am like. My head is about to blow. My exams are coming up. I have projects coming up. I have projects that have been coming up. My head is about to explode. However, I don't do well with balancing, but I do well with juggling. I have somehow mastered the art of knowing when to drop one thing for the other. Not saying neglecting entirely, right? But understanding when it's time to cut back on one thing and push forward on the other. For example, my part 3 MB. I had, just like, I think Eben was talking about it, he had an exam and then he had to write 5,000 words or something like that. I had my part 3 MB coming up and I had just gotten a very good paying client. And I was thinking, oh my God, I don't want to lose this client, but I don't want to fail. This is not what they asked me to go and do in medical school. They did not ask me to go and write. What am I going to do? I knew I needed help. More importantly, I knew I needed to cut my time into different pouches and spend from those pouches. And once that pouch was up, that was it. There were times I wouldn't sleep. Don't do that. They push you sleep. It's very good for you. But understanding when to cut back on some things and when to push forward. I do not do well with balancing. For some people, they keep asking, oh, how do you balance? My head is about to blow. I'm not balancing anything. But when you learn how to prioritize, that's what I mean by juggling. You learn how to prioritize. If you can cut out a specific amount of time to apply to jobs, to, get your writing together, to perfect your skill, do that. Unfortunately for us in medical school, your timetable is not rigid, right? They will tell you classes 8 to 10, 11:30. They are still doing blood anastomosis at this clinic. So you don't have control of your time. However, the best you can do, if it is to sacrifice your sleep for some time, do it. Me now, I like sleeping, but that's because I have sacrificed a lot of sleep back in the day to be able to get to a point where I don't have to sacrifice my sleep as much as possible. So no, to me, balancing does not exist. However, prioritizing does. Another important thing is having people around you who understand your stakes. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that we don't date. All of us date. You have boyfriend, you have girlfriend. It's fine. But if you are with someone who is saying, oh, you're not calling me, you're not texting, I'm fighting for my life in anatomy. What do you mean? Having people around you who are just as invested in your success as much. My very close friend, my best friend, her name is Folu. There are times that we'll be having an in-course in a week and Finn sees me typing. You say, Idera, are you reading? Are you aware that in-course is coming soon? I'll say I'm aware, but there's nothing I can do. But that simple question has dragged me back to my reality, my present reality. I know I am slacking. Everybody's in HSLTA, they are reading. Me, I'm typing. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing at that time? Having people around you. For example, my boyfriend now, he's a web developer. Even back then, when I wasn't reading, both of them, my friend and him, my best friend Finn, they would liaise, right? They were talking behind my back. Idera is not reading. No, what can we do to help her? Those are the kinds of people that you need in your life, right? People who keep you focused. That's the most important thing. People who keep you focused. People who are invested in your success. I think it's very unrealistic to say that you won't do things outside of medicine. You need to have a life. You need to make money. You need to do whatever it is you need to do. But having priorities, number one, and having people who support you and who can keep you in check. Till today, I still, put a lot of that gratitude into the people who kept me in check. And it's most important. That's what they say I should tell you. I lied. I don't have a balance. It's all about juggling and priorities. Thank you very much.